My name is Aftab Ahmed, and I'm a research associate professor at Chapman University. My area of research is in protein chemistry. We particularly look for protein structure analysis, primarily focusing onto the amino acid sequencing. I'm a protein chemist, and the area of research in my lab is basically protein purification characterization. And in broader term, you can say we are in the area of proteomics. My group at Chapman works on plant proteins. So primarily our focus is to figure out or find out a novel herbal medicine. And in the area of herbal medicine, you see that we are consuming as a whole plant most of the time, or whole component like either leaves or root. So when I look for the, particularly in this case of maple, there's two interests I got, that why not look for the proteins into the maple syrup as well as the proteins in the various components of plant. So far on the leaves we found that using chromatography, there are certain fractions which are very active, showing in anti-cancer activity. We use breast cancer cell line, and that data is quite promising. Of course, we have to purify the protein, because at this point it's partially purified, and we have to pinpoint which particular protein is important. Indeed, there are some proteins and peptides which shows very good assay anti-cancer activity. Generally, if you look in the plant sciences, most work people are doing in a small molecule field. They look for a lot of different phenolic compounds, but in terms of proteins and peptides, very limited study. For example, in maple leaf, there is no study reported on proteins and peptides. To some extent, because the concentration of protein in maple leaves or any plant actually is very low. And in order to study protein, which is a macromolecule, you need a lot of protein. So it's a little bit tedious in that regard. But for me, it's interesting because no data is reported. That means if we can report something from that plant, would be really a good contribution to the science. So as I'm saying, we are looking for anti-cancer activity because we are in the school of pharmacy. And if we can figure out, or to some extent, if I say, discover an active molecule, active proteins or peptide, that would be great. Because now if you see, people before don't believe that proteins can be used as a drug. But now is a new field, which is forecast is that by 2020, it would be a major contributor in pharmaceutical sciences, that is biologics. So I hope that if we can figure out and identify a protein from the plant, that can be a good source of pharmaceutical medicine. And I hope that the data which we are getting is quite promising, and hope to contribute something in this field.